My name is Win Fan. So today I'm gonna talk about my final project that I make for my programming class, which is gonna be I found really interesting because I first of all I just want to introduce myself to you guys. I'm in I really love fishing. So to talk about the final project, I make something about something I really love. It's gonna be about something about fishing game. So the purpose of this game for you guys to learn about it, as well as understand about the fish type, the bait that you fish that type of fish, and more about the fishing type that I really want to introduce you guys. So far I make around 281 line of code, and it's to be honest, you guys, it's gonna be a little complicated, but I will break it down to you guys so you guys can understand how my code actually work step by step. Uh, Not really step by step, but I will explain overall about my programming project. So for my code at first, I use the statement like you guys see right here, the using std scout, std sin, and std string factor. The reason I use this because I later on in this code I can write scout or sin or string or vector directly instead of writing std scout every time. The reason I do this way because I want my code look a little simpler, like a little easier to look, and it's not really messed up, you know. Um, so let's start with the code. So at first, I for the fish name and the bay name, I could make a subray. You see right here. Let me highlight for you guys. Hopefully you guys can see it. So right here, I can define the name, the correct bay for the fish, and the research and everything. But the reason I make the fish name and the bay name um, in using the struct because I use the struct because each fish has more than one piece of related information. Each fish has a name and each fish also has a correct bay depend on the fish you choose. For example, bass using plastic worm, or like let's say catfish use shad bay fish. So the fish struct allow me to group that related information together. Also, right at the struct route research, I add this second struct because this struct gonna be stored the final results of each route. It keeps track of the fish selected, whether the player caught the fish or not, the number of failed attempts, or whether the player won or lost the route. This make it easier to display the final results after each round, so the player can keep track to the game easier. It's just kind of like some type like scoreboard when you do checker game or you do chess game. So it's pretty much like the name and the research you can figure out. After each round, it's easier for you to understand. Um, the next part gonna be the code is the function prototype. So I learned this from the function lecture. The function prototype tell the program the function name return type parameter before the full function definition appear. Let me highlight for you guys. I use the prototype so that the main function can call my function even though the full function code is written below the main. So basically, right here, it's just like the list up, like step up, like it's just walking through with you. Just like at first, it's gonna be display the introduction. Second is gonna be create the fifth list, create the fish name list, and then create the bay list. And then it just shows step by step up how the game gonna be function. So the function can call it. So right here, next step gonna be the play again and things like that. So starting with main function, I want to create the overall flow for of the game. The program begin by playing one round, then display the results after that round. And finally, it asks the player if they want to continue. I use a loop so the game can repeat it as long as the player enter Y. So right here, Y, uh, a lot of people are gonna be concerned. Hopefully, you guys will. So right here I say play again equal Y. So Y mean yes. So if you enter Y, that means you want to keep the route going. So the loop gonna be repeat the game again. So other than Y, then the game gonna be end or stop. And so it's just keep the game repeated in the loop or just gonna be end the game, um, obviously. So next I will show you guys this one. Hopefully you guys can still see my highlight. So right here it's gonna be my introduction. So because the reason I use this because I want to give the player, like a little background about the game. I could originally could use many separate scout statement, like at each one because of the reason I don't want to have the batting line that repeatedly, the live code repeatedly over time. So what I use is gonna be the string. So I use a string. So I use a string because I want the function it can be stored inside one main function instead of like separate into a different small pieces. So I store the title and the introduction inside one string variable. And this whole things allow me to display the game title, the background story, and the instruction in the cleaner way before the game start. So this is pretty much like a background of the game, a little introduction I want to give to you guys so you guys can read at first and you guys can understand what is the rule of the game and how the game gonna be working and how it will be expectedly repeated. So you guys can have like a little expected thought uh, s- of how the game gonna be function, which is really good way to do. So you guys not gonna be have to figure out by yourself in the first place. And give me a second. Let me go down to this one. Let me do this one right here. So, next, I feel gonna be a little or really important of the game. Gonna be like because the reason I want to match the bay, that matching the fish name. So each bay gonna be fit exactly to the specific fish. So I create a hidden matching between each fish and its correct bait. I use a vector to store a mutable fish because a vector allow me to store a mutable item, which is really helpful. So I don't have to do a separate small species item, but instead I can use just one function, one main function, can store that allow me to store multiple item in there. Um, so each item in the vector is a fish struct. So it's contain both the fish name and the correct bay. The purpose of this, sorry guys, the purpose of this is so the program know which bay is correct for each fish. Later, when the player choose a bait, the program can compare the player choice with a correct bait. So it's pretty much like running as a hidden. So as long as you choose um, a one pay that matching the fish you chose, then it's gonna be counts a correct. So it's pretty much like a something that I create to make sure that the fish and the bait that go with that fish can tie together. So they're gonna be tied together as long as you choose one and you pick another, then they're gonna be matching. So it's a very, very good way to do for this game. I also for this one I also create a separate function that build a list of only the fish name. The reason of this is that I want the menu to show only the fish name to, to the player. The correct bay stay hidden inside the program, so the player has to guess the correct bay. So earlier I told with you guys right here it's gonna be like the bay that's gonna be matching the fish. So because I don't want it's a game, uh, a guessing game. I don't want you guys can see what bay used for what fish. So I use this one to declare that only the fish name and the fish list gone allowed to show, and the bay that match that fish. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. And the bay that matching that fish gonna be stay hidden. So no one gonna know what bay or for what fish. Instead of they have to figure out by themselves, which is really interesting for the game. Because if I just let everyone seeing my the research, then it's nothing fun. You guys know, right? So so here's gonna be my playlist. So earlier I told you guys it was like the fishing list. So it contain all the name of the fish. So here is gonna be the bay version. So it's gonna be contain all the bay list that you guys gonna choose from, and then after you pick the bay from this list, it's gonna be make a comparison to see if it that whether matching the name earlier or not. So for this one right here, you see for the display menu. So for the menu, I use one function called display menu, for which I just show you guys right here. For both the fish menu and the bay menu, instead of writing separate print statement for every fish and every page, I pass the list into this function and use a for loops to print each item. This help avoid repeated code and keep the program organized. So this display menu it just help me rotate and as a loop inside a loop keep repeat it, so I don't have to like redo or things like that. So um as you guys know, I have like a couple choice, a number of range in my fish pay and the list of the bait. So because of that reason, I want to make sure the player enter the valid choice. I use the get choice function. This function receives the message, the lowest valid number and the highest valid number. So that number gonna be related to the number of bait in the list and the number of fish in the list. So if the player entered the number outside that range, the while loop kick in, and it's gonna be keep asking again until the player enter the valid choice out of the range up from that list. This help prevent the invalid menu choice from continuing throughout the program, which I found really interesting and really helpful because I you don't want to pick a random number that not exist in the choice and the code just keep running for nonsense, which is not really a good way to do. So right here, you guys gonna be concerned about why here I name it is food pay, and right here I name it is correct pay. So the reason I do for this because I add two funny pay option, French fry and pickle. I know it's I don't know why I do that, which is hopefully it's funny to you guys. I don't know. So I create the function name is food pay function. So this function check whether the selected pay is one of those food option. If the player choose French fry or pickle, the function return true, and the program prints the funny message. And for the auto bait choice, it's return false. So it's the food pay. It's only apply and it's only return true if you choose French fry or either pickles. So if you either choose these two options, then it's gonna be have the message relate to these two of the funny pay I pick from. But it's the correct base gonna be the rest of the bay. So if you choose the rest of the bay and that matching the fish, then it's turned out to be the corrected bay, and it's gonna be returned to the correct. So that's why I name it the East Food Bay, which is for the my funny option, and it's corrected bay. So it's gonna be for the corrected bay for the fish. So um so right here, the route research play one round. So so what I do for this, um, it's pretty much like a list, like add Israel, like create the fish list, create the fish name list, and create the pay list. So let's say right here, um, it will right here, it will display. Let me highlight this real quick. Okay, so right here, so display the intros, right? And display the menu, which is the fish name and the fish choice. So it's gonna be write a statement. Um, it's gonna be have the list of the fish name you're gonna be choose from, and then after that, it's gonna be stay the statement. Choose the fish you want to catch from the list of the fish earlier they show you. So so after that, they're gonna be defined as you chose to catch, and then the fish you just selected. And it's a little concern for a lot of people why I put like wild caught fish equal false, wrong attempt, less than or equal than two. So the reason is I want the loop up running between false and wrong attempt need to be keep running throughout the program. So what is mean the caught fish equal false? So that's mean like the fish and the bait you chose is not matching each other. Secondly, I don't want the game just keep running and running for like hours or maybe couple minutes. Even you keep get wrong a lot of time. So because I want it's have a little limit on the game, so I create a wrong attempt. So if you make a wrong attempt, like let's say if you pick a wrong bait for that fish you selected earlier, then you have less than and equal to two attempt only. So if you assist that uh, let's say if you get over that two attempt wrong, and then the third one you get wrong again, then that's mean the game gonna be stopped, and it's gonna be repeated question about if you want to play the game again or not. So it's pretty much like a really good way to pause the game, set a limit of the game. So if you get too many wrong, then the game gonna stop and you have to repeat it from the beginning. um which something I really like about. And also at this game, it's gonna be show you how many wrong attempt you already get, and if that you correct or not. So the same thing and the same way is the fish earlier, it's gonna be the bait. So it show you as the same like the fish. It's gonna be show you the bait choice, and then like it's gonna be ask you to choose the bait. And so after you choose the bay, it's gonna be go back to like the beginning. As I tell you earlier, gonna be two options. It's gonna go to, so if you pick the correct bait for that fish, select it, then it's gonna be fall into the corrected bait. So it's gonna be send you out a statement with you caught a very big fish. So that's mean the bait you choose is fall into the true statement. So, but if you choose something, let's say you choose something like the wrong bait, I would say like French fry or um pickle that I say the food bait, which is the funny option I told you, then it's gonna be say this is a fishing challenge and not the cross race challenge. Of course, why you go fishing and you just charge you like big the pickle and french fry? It's the food you eat, you know? It's hopefully you got feeling. I don't know. Hopefully. But let's say um if you choose all the bay rather than pickle or french fry, but it's still wrong and it's not matching the fish you selected, then it's gonna be send out a statement which is you did not catch anything except get bitten by mosquito. Of course, if you not get anything, all you can get is the mosquito get you. You know, it's just something really obvious. So as long as if you caught a fish, and then it's gonna be completely finish the game, which is you complete the fishing mission for the charity fish food organization. um but that's why I say if caught fish equals true, that means if you actually caught a fish, then that statement, which is you complete the fishing mission, will send out. Or else mean you not catch any fish, then it's gonna be sent fall through the false statement, which is unfortunately you did not catch any fish. So because I don't want the people confused after each round, so I create a round research after each round, which is it's gonna be show you the selected fish, the wrong attempt, and how many fish you caught, how many fish you caught. So right here, I make a statement if caught fish equals true, or else. So I set the research fish caught equal one or research fish caught equals zero. So when I say fish caught is equal one, that's mean like you caught a fish. But if it say fish caught equals zero, then it's mean like you didn't get any fish. So the number I input like zero and one, it just make the player a little easier way to understand how the game actually get, and they can get checked easier. So right here is another I talking about. So it's just pretty much it's display everything, the fish you select, the fish you caught, and the total failure attempt. And then after that, if you caught a fish, you're gonna be become a champion of the fishing tournament. Or if not, then you did not catch the selected fish in this round. And it's a loop I said earlier. The game gonna be after each game, either you fail the attempt or you win the game. It's gonna be return back to the beginning, which asks you if you want to play again. If you say why, mean yes, then the game is continued. But if you say no, then the game is completely end. Before let me drop up before too late for you guys. Let me see how I can play this one. So I don't know. Sorry, guy. Um, yeah, I don't know how to click play because the recording just get into my way for right now. So let me pause for real quick and then like let me click play to the game and I will come back to you guys. Thank you.